We are back with the Hazbin Hotel theories. I have been absorbing Hazbin Hotel like it's been the daddy that I've missed for far too long. And speaking of daddies that we've been missing, Alastor, the new daddy, I guess, from Soul to Lilith, the real villain of Hazbin Hotel. Okay, so Cartoon Universe has been doing a really good job making theories and shit, just covering basic lore stuff. And as someone who also has a lot of theories and a lot of experience in literary analysis, as I like to pat myself on the back and say, well, no one can disagree with me, because if you do, I'm just not gonna read your comments and then you're gonna feel really stupid for leaving it. I have a lot of theories about the ALASTOR stuff as well. In my very reaction to episode 5, which are very in-depth, high-quality reactions, might I just remind you, I said very clearly that I believe ALASTOR sold his soul to Lilith. So I'm really glad that Cartoon Universe and I are kind of on the same page, thinking on the same wavelength in this regard, even though it was never clearly said. Now, I do have several pieces of evidence or reasonings as to why I believe so. So we're gonna get into his video, and I am going to mention my theories as to what Alastor's actual purpose is, and why Lilith might be the ultimate evil that caused all of this. You see, Adam's first wife was Lilith, according to, the lore of Hazbin Hotel and the Apocrypha and all that. So I do think it's very interesting that Lilith, who was the first wife of Adam, and wasn't good enough for Adam, bro. Okay, listen, Adam's a bit of a dickwad in Hazbin Hotel, but she is going to be an incredibly interesting character and might be the real villain of Hazbin Hotel, and the reason why Adam is so into this extermination shit. So let's see what we got.
Today, I want to talk about a theory that people have been requesting in the comments like crazy, which is that Alastor and Lilith have some sort of mysterious connection.
Bro, is she just shushing, putting her hand between? Dude, she is the ultimate Dami Mommy, and she has not even shown up yet. This is not even fair.
Due to them both being said to be absent for the last 7 years
yes!
before the show starts.
I mentioned this in my reaction as well. Before the show starts, Alastor was gone for 7 years, and everyone's wondering, where the hell was this guy? I'll make you wish that I stayed gone. Right? Dude was gone for 7 years, and Lilith was gone for 7 years. Lilith, sorry, mommy, sorry, Lilith. I mean, mommy, Lilith is what I meant to say. Was gone for 7 years as well. Not a coincidence that it both happened to be 7 years. We also have this interesting revelation in episode 5 that Alastor is owned by someone as well. Now, who could own Alastor? Alastor's an overlord that puts chills in the boners of every other overlord. So I'm just saying, maybe Alastor spent 7 years motorboating them Alright, listen, I'm not gonna say that.
Started. However, I've been waiting for this week to make that video because, as we have just learned in episode 5, Alastor appears to
it's such a scary scene when he says this, oh my god!
Have sold his soul to someone, the same way that Angel sold his soul to Valentino, and
Husk sold his soul to Alastor.
Sold his soul to Alastor himself. Is it possible that Alastor sold his soul to Lilith and is only at the hotel because of her? Let's break that down.
Oh my god, dude, it's crazy. So again, there's a billion reasonings as to why this could have happened. I'm so happy he's really covering this in depth, this theory, because first of all, I think this is the most obvious theory right now, but also, think about it for a second. Think about it for just a brief little second. What if Lilith okay, again, I have a billion ideas, but what if Lilith wanted Alastor to be in the hotel to cuck your freaking Lucifer? Like, dude, there's so many possibilities. There's so many possibilities. That's why Alastor's the coolest character in Hazbin Hotel. He just has there's so many interesting theories and mysteries surrounding this guy.
Figure out whether or not Lilith is the ultimate villain of Hazbin Hotel, or perhaps even the ultimate hero. My name is Imcut. Hit that subscribe button. Say hello to all my cool friends as they pop up in the background. And
yeah, definitely check out this dude. Cartoon Universe has been doing really good stuff with Hazbin Hotel.
Let's dive into it. In early live streams surrounding Hazbin Hotel, Lucifer and Lilith were described as something of a power couple.
Oh my god, dude. Man's pulling out the live stream lore. Bro, why did they drop lore during live streams? They have to stop doing this.
One who believed in equality and were even known for taking turns being the dominant partner, so to speak.
Okay, dude. Lucifer was taking turns being the dominant partner? Like, bro, I've seen Lucifer. Like, bro. Bro rigs the game because he's the ref. But, like, let's not make... Okay, dude. Short stack out there. Come on, man. Like, please, dude.
The Hazbin Hotel pilot didn't do anything to contradict this, and instead showed Lilith and Lucifer as being very distant from Charlie. Lucifer was said behind the scenes to be very focused on his personal projects, such
as building rubber ducks of mass destruction,
such as the theme park known as Lulu World. Some something we mostly know about from
Hey, that's crazy! There was a Lulu World reference? No way!
spin-off series Hell of a Boss, where the demon prince Mammon has made a rip-off theme park called Lulu Land. In the pilot, Lilith was implied to be absent from Charlie's life as well. There, Charlie calls Lilith to talk to her about her bad day with the news broadcast, but Lilith doesn't answer. In the background, however, we can see little advertisements for Lilith as a singer,
Oh! Dude, this is why I like Cartoon Universe. Man sees this stuff. I didn't remember that shit. What the frick? That's crazy. That's awesome! So Lilith was a singer. But it's interesting, Lilith in concert, that implies that she's kind of around, right? If she's actually around in the show, then why was she gone for 7 years from, or maybe she's just distant from Charlie for 7 years, I don't know. It's really interesting. She's an interesting character that seems to contain so many little details here. The wife of Lucifer, the mother of Charlie, the lady that was gone for the same amount of time that Alastor was gone. The first wife of Adam, who we know is currently the biggest dick in the entire series, out there just wanting to murder random sinners. Like, is she just sitting there plotting and planning? Like, is she just... is she having her woman moment?
and she's too busy with something of a music career to really be in Charlie's life. The Amazon series came quite a few years after the pilot, and though Vivziepop had a lot of her story already pre-planned, a big shift seemed to occur in the story behind Charlie's family, which was immediately painted as a bit different, with episode 5 revealing that Lucifer and Lilith actually split some time ago. In the opening scenes of
Yeah, that was such a sad scene. Dude, I love Lucifer so much. They did such a great job with this character.
Episode 1, we got the story of how Charlie's mother Lilith was born as the first woman, and who was cast out of Eden.
Which again, this is only true in Hazbin lore. She was never the first human in Bible lore, right? She was always, she was kind of like some sort of demon. Not actually the first female human. Just saying. It's interesting. I'm not sure if they're gonna veer to that perspective a little bit. I feel like they very well might.
Using to submit to Adam. She then met Lucifer, and the two were banished to hell after giving free will to Adam's new wife, Eve.
Right? And what is the free will? It's letting them eat from the tree of knowledge, right? So, maybe they actually, very interesting. Hello, I have returned. I am back from my tissue break. Required a little bit of a nose blow, as they call it. Yes. So as we understand in Hazbin Hotel, right? And as we understand in Hazbin Hotel, we got this character Lilith, all right, who comboed with Lucifer to give free will to Eve, which is this tree of knowledge. I'm just saying. So let's try to understand something. We're also worried about, because Sarah told the other one, the other Seraph, that if she starts questioning things, maybe she too will become a fallen angel, which implies that this crime that Lucifer did to be banished to hell was very, very likely done with good intentions, right? He didn't actually rebel. It was just thinking outside the box. He felt bad that these human beings would not be able to act with autonomy and gave them free will, because he thought that would be best for them, and then he got thrown into hell. So I'm just saying that is very likely what cast him down there. It's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Lilith was mentioned a couple times. She's mentioned in the Talmud a few times. Just saying, she's mentioned in the Zohar. Whatever. But these are old, 2,000-3,000-year-old sources.
From here, Lilith and Lucifer presumably lived a long and very happy time with each other in hell, eventually leading to the birth of Charlie. Early live streams and rumors had Charlie as being nearly 200 years old, but this may be outdated and not reflect her age.
She's 200 years old? That can't be. First of all, if she's 200 years old, then that means Lilith and Lucifer were living a super duper happy marriage. What? She gave him a super duper happy marriage that was going on for, 5,500 years, okay? Right? That's how long these guys have been in hell now. And then, wait, what? And then after 5,500 years of marriage, they're like, this ain't working. And then they left. Huh? What?
age in the actual show. Regardless of how old she is in the show now, we can see that as a child, Charlie lived with both her mother and her father, so they did seem to be together at that point. But that doesn't seem to be the case now, with Lucifer looking like he's been lonely for about as long, if not longer, than the 7 years that Charlie has not seen her mother. Despite this huge gap in time and no help from her mother, Charlie believes that she's the one she's ultimately doing this for. Lucifer is painted as becoming disenchanted with human freedom early.
Interesting. So Lucifer, got them the apple, was punished for it, and he just sits there completely impotent. Such an interesting psychological outlook on a character. I feel like they did such a good job with writing the characters in this show, from a psychological perspective. Because if you look at someone like Lucifer, who gave the apple, right, to give him free will, all that shit, and now he lost and he feels completely neutered. He was neutered from his power. He obviously is proud of his wings, right? He showed off his wings in the song with Alastor. Showed off his wings to freaking, to Charlie. And Charlie was then oh my god, those wings are so cool. God damn, you're the coolest freaking goober I've ever seen in my entire life. And then he was like, thanks, daughter. Right? We remember that conversation. But Lucifer just became a completely pathetic character, locking himself in his room, letting exterminations happen, just completely disenchanted with fighting back. He just threw in the towel and gave up once he was thrown down here. And this is the sign of someone he feels like a failure, and he'll fail at everything. He just has low self-esteem, crippling low self-esteem and depression. And it's such a crazy outlook for a character, because he was an angel, right? He was the highest of the high, and doing something that he really dreamed would be a good thing ended up causing free will to exist, which caused hell to exist, which caused him getting kicked out of heaven. Sin of pride, insecure as fuck. How good of a goddamn insight is that? That the sin of pride is just incredibly insecure. The sin of pride has low self-esteem. That's just goated character writing.
On in Hell's history, ultimately regretting his choice to give humans free will because he only sees the negative consequences of it. The sinner...
Right, he gives humans free will, and suddenly he sees all the sinners. He's like, oh my god, every single one of these sinners here right now is suffering in hell because of me!
Who ended up hurting themselves and others with it. After Lucifer lost his joy in Charlie's storybook narration, Lilith continued to sing and arouse the people's spirits, something that led to the annual extermination to prevent any uprisings. But that didn't stop Lilith from maintaining her singing career for what is now thousands of years.
Wait a second, that's crazy also. If you think about it, if you think about it, this story's a musical. Hazbin Hotel is a musical. What if the being a musical is part of the canon? What if the being a musical is part of the actual canon of Hazbin Hotel? Because Lilith is a musician, and all the music, and all the joy, and the sorrow is all from... Okay, stop saying, wow, really, no shit, okay? We knew that. Okay, you get what I'm trying to say here, okay? I'm just saying, it's interesting.
Presumably. After Lilith is first mentioned to have disappeared 7 years ago, Alastor is later explained to have disappeared 7 years ago as well. And while this is seemingly tied to a confrontation he had with Vox at that time, fans can't stop wondering if the two are somehow connected.
Dude, there's no way it's from Vox. Right? He won. He freaking pulled his dick out and rubbed it all over Vox's face. He didn't have to run away for 7 years when that happened. They were all wondering why he was gone.
If they are, then Alastor is seemingly at the hotel on behalf of Lilith, who herself is absent. And with Charlie saying that she is doing all of this for her mother at the beginning of the season, I have to wonder if the big twist is going to be that Lilith is the big villain, at least in one sense. Ultimately, the annual extermination is her fault, something that's...
Yo, I just noticed that. She has notes, dude. She has freaking music notes on the cuffs of her shirt. That's so cute.
Villain, at least in one sense. Ultimately, the annual extermination is her fault, something that started because of her singing, which she still hasn't stopped doing to this day. It would make twisted sense for Charlie to realize that everything goes back to her mother in an even more grand sense. So let's...
Interesting, because singing and songs, they give hope, right? Songs touch your heart in a way that just speech never could. I don't know, that would be wild if the songs that give people hope is the thing that the angels fear. That they want them to live in despair, because the only thing that could truly defeat anything and can truly make them a threat is hopes and dreams. If they just live in fear, then they won't. And Lilith might be their sole inspiration in, that's crazy.
Let's break down that possibility. Now, as I said, Alastor and Vox had some sort of confrontation with each other about 7 years ago. Before this, Alastor was among the most...
But he was like the #1 guy, and he didn't lose in that confrontation with Vox. He left for some other reason. Either because he picked a fight with Lilith and lost, or... question mark.
Powerful of the overlords, knocking over the overlords who existed before him, but finding an appreciation for other overlords like Zestial, who Alastor refers to as ancient, but not someone that Alastor seemed to target. A lot of Alastor's power seems to come from the deals he makes, demon deals that give him
like everybody else,
of certain souls, such as he has with Husk. Husk himself was known for dealing in souls as well, and when running low, he sold his own to Alastor in an attempt to keep his general power level of
Husk was, he was also an overlord that just lost.
Low. This showed that one demon can own another demon while still being
sold my soul to keep my power.
Owned by someone else themselves. Husk thus points out that Alastor himself is on a leash like Husk is, implying Alastor sold his soul, and who better to sell his soul to than Lilith?
Yeah. I do have to say, what a great premise to the show, but it's a little too predictable.
Alastor did not destroy Vox the way he did the previous overlords, and Vox claims in his news broadcast that the last time he and Alastor crossed paths, he wrecked Alastor, though we don't really know what happened there. Alastor didn't seem to have enough power to defeat Vox, and lost enough of his own power that it would seem that he had to make a deal for his own soul before eventually coming back.
Really? That's the perspective you had? I so didn't get that vibe. I thought that he was a rival with Vox at the time, and I mean, it makes sense. He's radio, he's television. Television takes away radio, right? It beats radio. But I thought it was very likely that Alastor disappeared for a completely separate reason that Vox somehow read into as his victory, when in actuality it was something completely tangential. That was the perspective I had. Very, very interesting. I think Serpentius actually owns Alastor, because Serpentius is the most base character in all of Hazbin Hotel. Don't let the haters fool you.
Years later. Charlie claims before calling Lucifer that she hasn't really seen him since he and Lilith split. We know they still lived together when she was a child, but we can even see portraits of them all together as a happy family, with Charlie looking like an adult at Lucifer's home. So while the split didn't have to happen precisely 7 years ago, it seems relatively recent in all of their history, and about that same time length. This is,
again, 200 years is pretty recent too, if you think about it. Like, these guys are down here for over 5,000 years.
Led to a lot of fans speculating that...
Didn't Val say Vox barely won last time? I think people are reading too into that. Val said, is it because he almost beat you that time? That's what he says. He almost beat you isn't the same as you beat him. Like, he could have almost beaten him and then he ran away. Like, I don't know. I think that that's a valid interpretation.
Alastor and Lilith are in something of a relationship, hence why so much of episode 5 is about Alastor trying to replace Lucifer as the father figure for Charlie.
Oh. No way, this is all just a squabble. No way, this is all some marital squabble between Lucifer and Lilith trying to see who gets to keep the kids. Oh my god, no. I'm not accepting that. I am not accepting that. This is not just a big NTR episode. Ain't no way, this is just... See, because here's the thing. I don't think Alastor cares about being her dad. The first time he mentions being some sort of trusted father figure in the entire show is to piss off Lucifer. I think he has some sort of alternative reason why he's making enemies with Lucifer and why he's buying into the Hazbin Hotel. He didn't actually care about supporting your dream until he could just say these things to annoy the big man.
Alastor was said,
and by big man, I mean short stack. I say that as like a sarcastic. Okay.
In ancient live streams to be asexual, however, but was described as thinking of himself in the terms more common to his period in the 1900s. As such, he seemed to think of himself as a typical heterosexual male, with him being described as thinking he just hasn't found the right woman yet and still enjoying female company over that of men. I don't imagine him as having a true relationship with Lilith, and instead, I think Alastor is just trying to play the father figure to Charlie to continue to win her trust.
Yeah, I think that's also very likely. But also, I don't know. I'm not sure whose trust he wants to win. Like, I think on the one hand, he might be in the hotel under Lilith's orders to keep an eye on Charlie, but I think it's also really likely that he's in the hotel for that, but also for his own personal gain. That if he can make a deal with Charlie for Charlie's soul, then oh fuck, dude, then he can trade his own soul for Charlie's and have control over himself again. Oh my god, that is one twisted ass motherfucking ulterior motive right there.
Which is exactly what I think Lilith sent him to do. It's been 7 years since Lilith stopped talking to her own daughter, and in that time, Charlie has started a great hotel in the name of her mother. Alastor seems ultimately to be here so he can get the power he needs to destroy Vox, but after how
that's not the perspective I had. I don't think he's just here to destroy Vox. He has to have some other gimmick. There has to be some other gimmick to all this, bro. Did you know that I named it the Hazbin Hotel? Ha ha! That name sucks. Ha ha! Fuck you. The best comeback of all time.
Undeniably tried to replace Lucifer in episode 5.
Yes.
It seems clear that to get his power, he needs to win over Charlie, whether it's to make a deal with her or to make a greater deal with Lilith to get his soul back.
Interesting.
I think
But do you think Alastor's actually gunning for the big guns? Do you think this guy's actually trying to become the new head honcho of hell? You think? No. There's no way that's his goal. What the fuck?
Alastor was forced by Lilith to go and work at the Hazbin Hotel, the same way that Alastor forced Husk to work at the hotel as well. He plays it off like it's all just for fun, but beyond that and the power he wants to attain, he could really just be doing it for Lilith. The big question is whether or not this makes Lilith the ultimate villain, or perhaps even the ultimate hero of the...
Yeah, she's a very mysterious character. Again, I don't think she's gonna be an ultimate villain. I don't think she's gonna be an end boss. Just because right now the main boss is kind of heaven, as well as a lot of the actual assholes that are running around in hell. You know, fucking Valentino, this motherfucker.
The series. Lilith was the one who got the annual extermination started in response to her singing, and she hasn't stopped since it started. This was something pushed by Adam, who was Lilith's first husband, and many fans probably see Adam as just doing this for revenge against Lilith, and to enjoy the killing off of the sinners he sees as not being worthy of being his descendants.
I disagree. I think it's because Adam is just unfathomably based, and I'm just saying, every time I hear Adam, it's like, my mind is now torn. Like, on the one hand, I see Adam there singing, guitar solo, fuck yeah! And then at the same time, I see Adam just saying, there's nothing a man wouldn't do to protect his children in Records of Ragnarok. And I'm just like so shaken on the fictional depictions of this character.
Lilith sabotaging the hotel through Alastor seems like the most villainous thing you can do from Charlie's
Sabotaging? Bro, Alastor did nothing to sabotage the hotel. Literally nothing. He protected it when he needed protecting, and that's it. I literally don't think this is sabotage. I don't think we've seen anything about Lilith that could make us understand her as a villain. I think not.
Perspective. But from episode 6, we can see it might actually make Lilith a hero. Not only is the annual extermination getting worse, but the hotel itself is stoking the fire, with Adam promising he'll be coming to the hotel first when they return in just 1 month, killing off as many sinners as they can, so Charlie knows that they can never gain redemption. Charlie's mother Lilith has to be well acquainted with just how evil Adam is, and sabotaging the
I do think that this might be the weird Lilith-Adam feud that starts this whole shit. That's crazy.
Hotel may ultimately be a way to save Charlie, and really hell as a whole, from the growing escalation of these exterminations. I wouldn't be surprised to find that she used Alastor the same way she used Lucifer, as someone who could infiltrate the place she needed to ruin the lives of the people there.
Interesting. So I guess the actions you could see of her so far, she does look kind of like a villain and kind of like a hero at the same time. But I think she's gonna always, I think she's gonna be a hero of the series. I think that her main theme in this show is gonna show you that people can change. And that's gonna be the ultimate Lilith theme. And that's why she's so into her hotel actually succeeding. I think it's very likely that someone like Alastor tried to, topple Lucifer or something and ended up losing to Lilith. Now he's on her leash, and 7 years later, she finally has something to do with him to keep the hotel going. Because the hotel is actually rehabilitating people. So I think Lilith might be doing her best to make things change, whereas Lucifer is really stuck in this really sad, downtrodden, depressed state where he feels like everything is forced to stay the same and there's nothing we could actually do about it. So I think that it's very, very likely that that'll be a major theme for the series. And everything she's doing is just hoping and praying that something could change. Because if we think about it, Lilith in this story's lore convinced Lucifer to get the Eve to eat from the tree of knowledge, to literally give people free will, the ability to change and the ability to be someone that you want to be instead of the person that you were created as. I think that's such a cool perspective for a character that just, I don't think it would make sense for her to fit as some sort of arch villain. Maybe though. Maybe. I think it would be very interesting. It would be interesting if she was a hero or if she was a villain, but I think we could all agree that ultimately, whoever tweeted this probably should get sued. Like, this is slander and libel, and I want to take legal action against anyone who tweets or says anything even similar to this. This is unacceptable, and I will not accept it at all.
But to perhaps ultimately liberate Charlie from the wrath of Adam, the way Lilith may have ultimately helped Eve get away from Adam, as she doesn't seem to be around him anymore. But there's so many ways this can go, and it's only half.
Again, so many ways, so many theories, so little time. We need MatPat here ASAP. But dude, that's such a cool freaking Nux Pentius! No, stop it, please. Sir Nuxius. Oh my fucking god, I hate you.
With the other half being Lucifer's side. So subscribe, because we'll have more videos.
Yeah, check out Cartoon guys. Check out this dude, Cartoon Universe. Makes good stuff. He does a good job covering lores of different shit. And I think that there's so many different ways Lilith can go that would just make this story interesting on two fronts. Again, the biggest mystery in this story is definitely Alastor, this overpowered guy that's been gone for 7 years. And somehow this definitely has to have some sort of overlap to Lilith, who is an incredibly integral character. So I think when it comes to Lilith, when it comes to freaking Alastor, this is going to be the overarching mystery that I think the show is going to focus on so much. And I am so excited to see how it actually plays out. Because so far, the Hazbin Hotel story and lore has been really stellar. Despite the fact that it is a little too fast. It's a little too fast. But what about aliens? Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.